Dr. Strange Fuzz, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Doll. This week on The Hapless Heroes. The loincloth really didn't leave anything to the imagination anyway. We weren't really fooled.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco. Tonight I am your host and DM, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce our wonderful cast of characters before we continue our adventure this evening. Starting on my virtual left, we have Dave playing March.
Good evening, everybody.
Mike as Brunner Brew Blitzbore.
I'm ready for an adventure.
Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup.
Somebody has to save Purps.
Sebastian as Shum Daloom.
What?
And Lewis as Lev Zangief.
Yeah, my name is Lev and I hate puppets or whatever.
Last time of the show, speaking of hating puppets or whatever, Lev, you tore up Purps, this cursed doll that has been speaking to all of you at this point since everyone laid hands upon it, as we discovered that was sort of the mechanism for it to connect with you in some way. It talked to you about it shared things about itself. It shared things about you that it knew somehow in different ways. You know, Levitt showed you images of your children in hatching some sort of escape plan somewhere with Yeti and the crew of the original crew of the Cosmos Concordia. March, it used your name, like your name, like your real name.
Maybe. It's in my head fucking with me.
True.
I just assumed that it was mental propaganda.
And go up your
Really,
head.
the solution is just never answer to that name and make everybody forget that they heard it.
That's right.
In fact, not
saying
success. And letting them.
In fact, I'm sure that based on how long it's been since we've played, to the audience, it's they're like, what do you mean? We heard it last week, But to us, it's like I think all of you actually have forgotten, which is perfect. That being said, Glorp also had a pretty crazy dream about just essentially themselves unraveling as they pulled a thread that seemed to be hanging off of their like oozy exterior. I mean, obviously, Brew, you've gone through it with this doll. I will say that with its presence gone, and Chum, obviously, you've been having a mental breakdown. I feel like in order to get the hell away from here and closer to answers, you have foregone your rest to help Percy work on the ship so we could get going faster so that we could just you could just be rid of this cursed doll that's definitely made you cry
100%.
More than once.
Twice on camera. Yep.
So I'm just going to kind of open up into in a new day aboard the ship. I'm going to say, can I just get everybody who did sleep last night to make me, why don't we call it constitution checks? Not saving throws, or I guess we can make them saving throws. And it's going to be more to see how well you were able to sort of just like withstand the probably near constant din of work happening round the clock on the ship. So those of you who do need to sleep, which would be pretty much just Brew and Glorp, and Percy, which I will roll for him. We're going to need some constitution checks.
I hate that this is what happened during this check, because I'm sure it's going to balance out with some D&D karma, but I have a nat 20, so I slept through every possible
Yes, you did.
loud incarnation of
Yes, you
whatever is happening. I'm sleeping right through it.
Fittingly,
Perfect.
Percival rolled a nat 1, meaning Choom essentially forced him to stay awake to work round the clock with him this time around. And
You're damn right.
The day dawns, you're going to see that he is going to be like he's going to be in a bit of a strained mental state, we'll call it, and a bit of exhaustion. And Nicole, I saw you make a face.
I rolled a 2, but I do have the dot filled in.
Brew had the best sleep of his life.
Saving throws.
Best sleep of his life.
2 plus 2 plus 2, right?
Yes.
6.
6 is something.
I was up all night worrying about our puppet-shaped friend who's no longer shaped like a puppet. I do also remember that at the end I put the pieces back into the jar. That's what I did at the very, very end. I shoved them back in like some sort of horrific funeral.
And Jim gave a very heartfelt apology last episode. I hope everybody remembers that.
Uh-huh. Roll the same. No. So that's kind of where we're at this point. So it is a new day. What are we getting up to? There has been no activity aside from, again, the dream overnight. There has been no change in status. In fact, has anyone decided to go down into the cargo bay?
Yes.
Glorp,
That's me.
you enter the cargo bay.
Mhm.
The jar is exactly where it was when you left it. I did, and I do not remember, and I'm sorry, I guess, to our audience for the mild inconsistency here, but do we remember if you had sealed the jar, or if you had left it unsealed and just stuffed the pieces inside?
If I remember correctly, I did put the lid back on it. Yeah.
So then it sits there again, just as it does, with its little eyes on the top of that jar. It's there. Nothing seems to be changing. You don't hear anything in your head or anything like that.
I open the jar. If nothing stops me.
Looks like a bunch of stuffing.
Just stuffing, or
No,
also
you can
the
see
exterior
you can see the
parts?
pieces.
Okay. I pour the pieces out,
Uh-huh.
and I cast Mend.
Mending.
Mending.
Stick.
Possibly repeatedly on all the different little areas that need to be stitched back together. I'm going to do this with care.
Oh, cantrips.
You can physically repair a magic item or construct, but the spell can't restore magic to such an object. Okay, just making sure. Asking for a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I love the thought that every time Percy's eyes start to droop a little, Choom's just like, "Yeah, have a coffee," and he just like shoves it in his hands.
Yeah, you can see that. You can.
We
you can
have,
see
like,
that,
nicotine
you can
gum.
See that Percival is.
You know the way that in college, when you're like drinking, solo cup beers, you would stack the solo cups to show how many beers. It's like that, but with he's got like 25 coffee cups. He's drinking out of the top one.
It's like a bunch of paper.
His mouth is so big, I'm just pouring it in whenever
I need to,
a bunch
I need
of
to
paper
clarify.
espresso
Percival has
cups.
his own mug, and it's a big one, right? It's like like the big gulps, right? Like that's what his looks like because he's a big man. And Choom has just been essentially refilling that like constantly. You know what I mean? So like Percival has no idea how much coffee he actually has consumed, but you can see that while he looks physically exhausted, like he's drooping a little bit with his movements, he's dragging his feet a bit, but you can see that like the hand that is holding the mug is like vibrating, and it's funny because my laptop camera here does not show the vibration of my hand, but
March is not participating in this directly, but he's making sure that the coffee maker is going at all times.
so you can just see that he looks physically exhausted, but he's with it. It's just his sanity is slowly, like he's more just now blindly following Choom. Like he seems a lot more agreeable, if not like a bit. His skill, he may be reaching a, we may have breached the Balmer peak and are now on the decline. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. He's just lucky we didn't bring any drugs.
Yeah, because you've noticed that anytime y'all have been enjoying a scroll of calm emotions, like Percival has politely declined. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's breathed in enough secondhand scroll
That was so
no.
That was well done.
But it remains to be seen if that has actually had any tangible effect, or if it is just the lack of sleep that's got him all frazzled. Anyway.
Pick up your feet, Percy. We gotta move.
Anyway.
Chum, on the other hand, is fucking lightning
True,
around.
you are lightning around. At some point, you do see that Glorp has now mended pieces of Purps. As you...
Glorpy, what are you doing? Glorp?
Yeah, what's up?
Glorp, 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 Glorp.
Yeah,
What?
hi. Chum.
Chum's literally like his whole body just vibrating. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm gonna call you Zoom Chum.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot. I like that a lot, actually. I like that a lot. What are you doing?
I was thinking about getting some coffee, but it looks like we might be out.
No, with the doll.
Oh,
Why are you putting it back
put
together?
back together.
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Zooms out of the room. Lev! Lev! We need you in the cargo bay. We need you in the cargo bay right now. Right now. Lev!
I am busy right now. What?
Good. We need the cargo. Glor, put the thing back together. We need you in the cargo.
Why are
We
you
need you now.
talking to me from different part of ship? Well, you can come and talk to me in front of my face, please.
You hear a uncomfortably long amount of silence, and then the intercoms turn on in the ship. Lev!
I smash the nearest intercom speaker.
Percy, go fix that.
What? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll get right on that. And you see him just drag himself over to like a panel somewhere and start fiddling. The fabricator,
So
I will say, the fabricator is operational now, so raw materials are going to be more easily at least made into functional parts for this ship, so at least the actual repairs can continue in earnest. I'm not saying you can just make anything out of there, but at least you can take it's mostly just to take raw materials and help essentially artifice them into things. So this whole exchange is happening. I was almost even imagining that you're trying to use the intercom, he would just pop out of the ceiling, wherever Lev is at this point, because you're just falling through the insides of the ship, right?
You just hear scamper through the ceiling, and then all of a sudden just my head pops out. Lev! Chum, put the doll back together. We gotta rip it apart before it starts talking to us. Start talking to us. I can't do it.
I visibly
What's
jump when you pop up. I'm like, oh my god.
Calm down, big boy.
Lev, you said you were busy. What were you in the middle of doing?
None of your business.
I'll tell you when I think of it.
Well, the camera is now on the two of you, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think that I might have my...
Because if you say you're just doing a Sudoku,
I was gonna say solitaire.
Yeah, it was probably...
Are you building a model?
Probably some kind of activity book, honestly, of some kind, like a logic puzzle book or...
A maze.
Something to
Can I
stimulate
roll
my
book
mind.
maze.
Yeah, like
real
a maze,
quick,
yep.
Can I roll to solve the puzzle for him real quick?
you're about to
Oh,
solve
don't you dare.
Whoa.
Can I roll to solve the puzzle for him real
Don't
quick?
you
Okay,
dare.
so this is gonna be two rolls here, and because the first one will be contested. You're gonna do sleight of hand, and Lev,
Okay.
you have to make me. I'm trying to think of what a good opposing roll for this to kind of almost swat his hand out of the way before he just
Dexterity.
A dex
Yeah, I
save.
guess it's gonna be
Dexterity?
dexterity.
Okay.
So I mean, it was both dexterity. So I'm just saying, maybe use your. I don't know. Just I gave him a skill, and so I'm trying to tie it to a skill, not an ability. I guess acrobatics. If you got it.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Acrobatics? I have athletics.
Fuck it.
I do not have
You
acrobatics.
also have acrobatics.
You
I guess I do.
Acrobatics, yeah.
Athletics is a fair argument, though.
Yeah, it is. Athletics is a fair argument.
Wow.
Listen, I mean, you got dexterity, he's got strength. Let's just see who's got the better of the two.
I'm an artificer.
Yeah, you need some dex for the ranged attacks.
It's okay. I rolled.
Me too.
All right, let's hear the results.
I rolled a 15.
I also rolled a 15, but then I have also a +5 sleight of hand modifier, so dirty 20
Oh,
for suspense.
oh. So, Choom takes his I'm trying to think. Okay, so Choom, how, would you be using your own like writing utensil, or would you use his?
I'd use my own. I probably have a little pen or pencil on me for
now
making
make me an
marking
intelligence
shit.
check. Flat intelligence.
I want it to be a pen. And you fail this so that you write everything in there and it's all wrong, but he can't erase
That's
it.
what I'm going
One
for
of those
here.
like grease pencils.
That's like what I'm. That's like what I'm fishing for here.
Oh, I'm loving this.
Well, with my +2, I rolled natural 1.
Excellent. You solve it incorrectly, but confidently incorrectly.
There. Done. Come on. And just like fucking start running with his like pant leg in my hand, not going anywhere. Just like skating on the ground.
I ripped the activity book in half while I'm staring him in the face, and then I walked into another room that's not this room. Silently.
Son of a bitch! Dragging me with you too, because I'm just like hanging on by your leg. Fine, I'll do it myself. Runs. By the way, anyone who's normally sitting in the ship just doing their life things would have seen me zip to the cargo bay, zip back to where Lev's room is, and then now zipping back to the cargo bay like I'm on something. And I'm gonna go into the cargo bay and I'm gonna say, Glorby, watch out for a second. Move to the side. And I'm gonna pull out my welding plasma torch. As long as Glorp is not in the way, I am going to start welding this thing to the floor.
I'm sorry, welding what to the floor?
The doll. If I need material, I will take it from the nearest panel on the wall.
When you say weld it to the floor, I need you to describe this action a little bit more, and I also need you to also. I mean, you're going to try to grab it from Glorp,
Yeah.
but
true.
But just before, let's think. We're just going to backtrack a little bit, but I do want you to at least explain to me what you imagine welding the doll to the floor would look like.
With the utmost pleasure, Fran. I'm going to take a medium-sized plate
No.
off of the wall.
I'm going to take it. You want to take. Let's
I want to take a medium-sized plate off of the wall. I'm going to put it.
You want to put it.
If I can, I want to put it over the doll's face. I'm going to sit on it
You
in
want
a
to sit on it.
smothering action. Thank you. And I want to then weld the corners of this square to the ground.
All right. I mean, obviously, Glorp, you don't necessarily know what Choom's intention is initially as he comes storming back down into the cargo bay, trying to take Purps from you. Do you just let him have the doll?
I most certainly do not. I'm familiar with what happened last time. That's why I had to spend
Any
all morning
contention?
doing mending.
Any contention for leaving the doll from Choom would stop him, because all you have to do is hold it above his head, and he would not be able to get it.
But we all know what Choom wants to do with the doll. So I just take it as read that if you do manage to have possession of it, Choom, we can further this intention and maybe manifest it into.
Yeah.
Alternately, it would be much funnier if I let the welding attempt happen and I just kept Ray of Frosting the end of your, torch.
Well, that's what we're embroiled in.
Yeah.
How's everybody else
I
doing?
am going to note, right? As you're kind of wrestling, maybe mildly wrestling for possession of the doll in some way. You've been around it for enough time to feel like, okay, it was talking to you by now. The last time it was in one piece. It's not talking to you right now. There's no voice in your head. There's no influence. No one's mumbling any sort of T'Challa, Divarash, Sinai, Exetor nonsense. Like, no, none of that's happening. It's quiet in your minds. It's just another day on the ship with a doll.
Okay. Traumatized monkey is going to continue to wail in protest, but that can happen in the background.
Lev goes and looks for March.
March can be found in a corner of the bridge area. Like, he's got a couple of monitors up around him. One of him's watching the cameras and laughing hysterically at what's going on with Choom. The other has some kind of Outer Limits Twilight Zone show going on.
March, you would have noticed maybe in your morning log review that there was an encrypted message that did get sent to Glorp from. You managed to see that Higurp did send Glorp a voice memo. An encrypted voice memo.
Was this the original voice memo or a second?
Yeah, the one that. Sorry, we did it last episode. Is part of the recap. It was essentially saying that Captain Laserbeard was a bit incensed that the case was empty when they went to crack it open. It took him a while to get the password, to figure it out, but they did crack it eventually, and turned out the case was empty. And he's not too happy that you pulled another fast one on him. And it was just a sort of a courtesy warning because Higurp was impressed, but the captain was not so happy about it. And I will say that you also know that it was still from within this solar system or this wild space system. So it's not like they've moved on. This is definitely they live out in this space. So if you do leave this moon, probably guaranteed to run into them again.
Oh.
While March is looking at the computers, and I imagine there's a bunch of scrolling text going by, and he's just kind of rhythmically click-clacking on the keyboard. I come up behind him and pull what I assume is some kind of future chair with some nice casters on it or something, and sit down next to him and
yeah.
Was pretty crazy. Having something talk in my head. Have you ever had anything like that before?
I mean, not while sober.
I mean, Jam Jam has talked to you in your heads before.
Yeah, not like this though.
Thread Queen do communicate telepathically sometimes.
It just felt more intrusive, I feel like.
Yeah, I would say it does feel different than some of the typical.
And I guess that's what I'm trying to articulate. It felt weird.
Yeah.
And never felt anything like that. Was that your real name?
If you don't ask me questions like that, I don't have to tell you lies.
Well, you can lie to me, Morch. I pull out my wallet and pull out a small piece of, a folded piece of paper that unfolds into a big square. And I hand it to March and I say, see that piece of paper there? It's a drawing. It's got a bunch of what looks like crayon circles with some lines coming out of the bottom and on the sides and little circles on the top as well. And one of them is noticeably bigger than the other two. And I'm like, Liana drew that for me. That is us. My family, I don't think I've shown anyone that, but how did it know that I had 2 children?
I mean, if it could talk to you in your head, stands to reason it might be able to see what's in there too. I mean, maybe he's showing you something. Maybe he's just showing you what you think you want to see as memories from your head. I don't know what he's
make sure that you know,
to.
Lev, right? These were not memories. This looked like
I understood that.
Action that was right. Just making sure.
That's why it was so jarring to him, I think, that it was, he dismisses it as propaganda, but also
Yeah, and March is going to look for rationalizations because he's a natural disbeliever.
Yeah.
It's true, because March, you were like the last really to have any sort of poking, by this thing, that which spoke to you in your mind.
Yeah.
I'm not one to break kayfabe, but this is spooky.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's remarkably so for us who've been basically going from one terrifying scenario to another for, I don't know, I don't keep perfect time. Months at this point? I don't know. What day is today?
Almost a year, if anything, since
I do not know.
We're coming up on a year since this crew crash landed on the raft.
So this is the cool part about not having to keep a normal work week is I don't have to know what day it is. And after that point, everything kind of just gets a little blurry. Honestly, I prefer it that way.
Yeah. I do not regret tearing up the doll, but I do regret not learning more to determine its truth.
I mean, if it can do all the things that we all seem to think it can do, do you think really tearing it up is what's going to stop it? If it didn't want to be stopped?
I certainly was not thinking about the efficacy of the tear. Trust me.
Oh, no. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Tearing the thing up is probably what I would have done if I was the tearing things up kind of person. He kind of holds out his arm, wiggles it. Not really my forte.
Percival's working nearby, and he turns to the two of you. Sorry, didn't mean to eavesdrop. I mean, it seemed like it wanted our help, didn't it? I heard it too.
When Percy enters the conversation, I quickly grab the drawing from March's hands and hastily stuff it back in my wallet.
Yeah. March gives you kind of an understanding nod with it. We all got stuff that we're trying to, not share. So,
but it's just
other than that, March makes absolutely no deal of it immediately. Turns his attention to Percy, and just tries to make sure that
again, Percy looks out of it. He looks like he's powered entirely by caffeine at this point. So, take this with a grain of salt. But he continues, and he's just like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It wanted our help, but it just seems it had all this power, and so it doesn't seem like I don't understand. What could it possibly need from us? Why does it need us to take us anywhere? Why did it pick us? Why are we saddled with this?
Nikita loved dolls.
I'm sorry, Lev.
March's eyes kind of go a little wide for a second before he refocuses. These are really good questions, because, I don't know, if, there are certain jobs that need doing that I think we're pretty good at, but, I don't understand why us either, except maybe we were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Multiple times, it seemed like.
But literally, all the time.
That too.
So, I mean, we're sitting by your computer setup right now, March, is what I'm imagining, right?
Yeah.
The context we were given before. So, we're going to see clearly on the cameras, right, that the doll is put back together at this point, right? And
yeah.
Choom and Glorp are fighting.
Oh, Choom is full on crying on the, sobbing on the ground. It's just please. I don't want to. He's just baby crying right now.
He's in a circle of spots of frost.
We are going to have to do something about that at some point, I think, too.
But wait, it's back together. Why isn't it talking to us?
I just feel...
I meant crewmate, but that thing, I guess. I mean, I was telling Levia, though, tearing it apart, Compared to everything it's got, Tanatopod is not what was going to tip the scales in whether it was talking to us or not. At least not the physical act of dismembering it.
I'm so confused. I just really want to get some sleep.
Yeah, maybe we should stop letting the monkey bully you on that one.
When have you ever stopped the monkey from bullying me?
Shut up, Percy!
I stomp on the ground like as he's trying to quiet him down.
Rue, you've been a bit silent here. I'm gonna shine the spotlight on you for a moment. How are
I've
you
been
processing
sleeping.
everything that's happening in the ship? Oh, you're still sleeping.
I'm sleeping. I rolled a nat 20, baby. I'm sleeping through all this.
He's like,
I have no idea what's going
This
on.
is the first time that something is not in my head. I'm just gonna.
Since you've spotlighted Brew for a second, he has just woken up, and he kind of goes into like the center of the the area there. He's just kind of doing his stretches, his morning, kind of just like getting ready for the day. He has not remembered to put on any sort of coverings or undergarments. He's just kind of freewheeling it. And he walks up to the coffee machine where he notices there is no coffee. And
It's more that it's on. The machine is
bullshit.
on.
There's definitely coffee. I've been seeing to it all night.
Right. It's that maybe Choom has the pot of it and was chasing Percy around with it for a while. But at this point, I'm pretty sure it's back. There is coffee.
there is
yeah,
coffee.
no. There's coffee.
Then Brew
much
is
is on the
happy.
ship?
There's coffee.
Brew is happy.
He just wanted a reason to be upset.
Well,
I know, but it was
I was
so-
gonna
so
I was gonna have the symbiote show his face for a second, but that doesn't make sense now.
You can
So
still do that now.
no, I'm not angry. It doesn't make sense.
Wow.
It's all good. Everybody's happy.
Sorry.
Brew is-
Sorry,
Brew is-
I didn't mean to
Brew
not
is-
yes and you there, but
That's okay.
I kind
Yep,
of
you-
established.
Totally. And,
I'm not happy, you asshole.
He's drinking his coffee and in buck naked, just doing his thing.
While the house is burning around you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a conversation. I mean, the thing is, you were by yourself on this floor, right? Because the dormitory area and like common area is on the second level, right? You have the cargo bay on the first, and the second is like literally just like sleep rooms, and then the like common area and like bathrooms and stuff, and then the top is the bridge. So, like. You right now, like you got the place to yourself. No one else is really at this point observing that. Well, maybe on the security camera footage internally at this point now, people have seen.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I'm a little more like it's on the screen, but
But we're a little
focused on the
distracted.
conversation.
Yeah.
Given the chaos that's actually happening, Brew is completely oblivious to all of it, and he is peacefully enjoying his coffee in the space that he's in, where nobody is yet. And we'll see what happens when he gets roped in somehow.
It's a delightful, blissful ignorance.
Oh, he is.
cut down
he
to
is-
the,
and
yeah.
that's why he's naked. He didn't see anybody, so he's just kind of like walking around, like, well, everyone's busy, so I'm just gonna do my thing.
One hand on your hip, the other hand with coffee cup.
There's a stool randomly there.
Maybe a towel, but it's over your shoulder where
No,
it's not
yeah.
doing anything.
And it's just a hand towel, so
Oh my god. All right, so we're just gonna go back down into the cargo bay then.
Please
having a breakdown.
let me. Huh?
Choom is having a breakdown. Glorp
Yeah,
is
full breakdown.
holding the doll.
I'm trying to appeal to your better nature, Glorp.
We are gonna have to try to get that man a qualified therapist.
Just let me set it on fire.
Glorf is standing over Choom, holding the doll, going,
Say you're sorry, Choom.
To you or to him? Or it?
Damn.
I will never. He's, dude, by the way, just for everyone listening, holding a very dangerous, heavy piece of equipment while doing this. Glorp, that thing was in my head. You don't understand. It showed me things I didn't like it. Please.
But it was our friend.
No, it wasn't, I promise. I don't know how I can convince you.
Persuasion
It
check?
wasn't our friend.
I mean, a persuasion check might be convincing.
Hey, my -1 charisma says, let's try.
Glorp, would you like your to roll an insight?
Yeah, sure. Why not? That can't go poorly.
Fuck.
Sweet, I have proficiency in that.
That's good for you.
That neutralizes my -2 wisdom.
Oh, damn.
I got a solid 8 here.
Oh my god. I rolled an 8 and I have a -1.
So, both of you, this is actually very fitting for the type of people that the two of you are, right? Because Choom, I mean, while it's hard to say that you're, in this context, it's the same thing, but you can be very pushy.
Yeah.
Right? However, Glorp, even though you have your own feelings about Purps, this doll, right, and the way it's been treated and the way that Choom has sort of subversively attempted to destroy it several times, his emotional appeal to you does, it does pull at your heartstrings a little bit. You can tell that he's genuinely upset, that this doll has essentially, infiltrated his mind. And you do feel a little bad for Choom, and you kind of understand where he's coming from, as far as okay, this thing is kind of giving off some curse energy, right? Yeah, it's definitely said it's your friend, and it's asked you for help. That's also true. But maybe, just maybe, Choom might be onto something. But because of the fact that it's so close, I mean, again, his modifier is worse than yours, or better than yours.
Yeah, technically.
By 1, technically, -1, -2, right? Because you guys tied.
Nicole won that. She got an 8 out of 7.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you guys both had an 8. Oh,
and I had a -1. So
but
now
at the same
I
time,
rolled
Glorp,
7.
in that case, Glorp, you have the agency to still make your own decision here. So what do you do when he sort of is just pleading with you at this point now? He's given up on trying to actually take it from you.
Okay, Choom, I can see you're not ready to apologize yet, so I'll put him away.
Do you put it in the jar? Do you put it back in the?
Yeah, I put him in his jar.
Put it in its jar.
Put it in its jar, and then I said,
"Don't worry, Choom. I won't make you look at it anymore. Let's maybe not hastily behead it again, since it's not creeping around in our brains right now. But I'll go put it away."
Because Choom lost the roll, he's just kind of got this glazed look in his eye where he's just yeah. Okay, Glorp. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you'll excuse me, I have to get back to work. He's gonna open a side panel, sad walk into the wall, pull the panel closed. You can hear sobbing through the entire shit.
I'm just envisioning some kind of lair action where Choom can just pop in and out of the walls wherever he wants.
He's just cry welding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want this ship to be as operational as soon as possible, so I will continue to do that.
Yeah, we're probably going to be a little bit ahead of schedule then. I mean, you're probably going to still have at least this day to get through. So we're going to say that, obviously, the day continues, the work continues. I know that people were enlisted to help at least a little bit the night before when he retired. So, we're going to let you all determine, how much or how little you assist those who are reassembling parts of the ship and getting things back in more of a working order.
Yeah. March is working at the intersection of where his interests lie in the repair stuff, so it's going to be, I'm still working on the Eeyore suite.
Sure.
But in the places and interfaces, I'm still helping with the ship, too.
With the electronics
I'm
and
not
stuff.
Stop working.
Choom, I have 2 questions for you.
Yep.
The first is, do you at any point during the day allow Percy to rest?
If his efficiency is slacking and I can notice, I will then shame him for not having the stamina, but then also accept that he does need to go and rest.
We reached the 36th hour of work.
Right. I'm from Verdara, bro.
You can see
overtime is normal.
You can see he is absolutely gassed, and no amount of caffeine seems to be sustaining him at this point. Do you push him to continue, or do you let him sleep?
Percy, snap! Hey,
What? Hey,
wake up!
what? Sorry, I think I dozed off when I was making the. It's okay. I could get a few more panels. I've made. It's fine.
Percy. Percy.
What?
Go
Say
get some
something.
sleep. Go get some sleep.
Oh. But the ship.
I'll keep working on it. Don't worry.
I just need a few. Just a few weeks.
Yeah, no.
Right,
Go get some sleep.
That sounds good. Yeah. You see him start making his way towards the ladder. So you guys are now on the bottom level right now, and he just hits the ground and falls asleep. Doesn't even make it to the ladder.
Wow.
He's out. He's sleeping.
Can't do nothing about that. Go back to working on the ship.
Chu, make me a check with your mechanics tools.
Let's go.
You're gonna use your dex for that, or no, intelligence for that. Excuse me.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Mechanics. Oh, it's not a skill, right?
It's a tool.
Just straight dex.
Well, you're
Plus
proficient,
3,
and you're proficient with those, I would imagine. So.
so plus 5.
Yep.
So that's dirty 24. Thumbs up.
You get a fair bit of work done. As the crew rests, and the ship will probably be at least will very certainly be ready for, what is it? What's the? Oh, I know the word for this. Hold on, it's like slipping away from me. Is it just suborbital
Archer?
flight? What's the name for?
Atmospheric.
Yeah, atmospheric
Flight.
It
Love that.
it is certainly going to be ready for atmospheric flight, and at this point, y'all have the parts. So honestly, you probably could even have it ready for to actually leave the atmosphere and get back into wild space should you choose to ever leave this moon. Just because, again, it's very good. You did a very good job. You guys were able to kind of get a lot of the things repaired. You could tell that it was there was just a lot of you could tell a lot of the internals were strained from the ether injection, essentially. And you've had to insulate some of those tubes and other things that are kind of
For
feeding
flavor's
the
sake?
engine.
Can we say that I've made it a little bit more efficient to handle this ether injection, because this technology technically is not something that is well known? So I'm
it's
creating
trial
my
and error
own.
every time, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, obviously you need a little bit more installation on these tubes, and you need to kind of you've learned a couple lessons along the way. It's certainly not perfect still. We'll see how we'll see what kind of strain it can withstand again. But
I'm going to write all this down in my notebook,
sounds good.
so you know that I have a notebook with all of this in it.
Any other activities before we close another day?
Nope.
We're at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It was just
we don't-
the day was
not every day
lazy.
has to be completely action packed.
Brew had a very, what's the word I want?
Calm, relaxing, uneventful, peaceful.
Peaceful. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of the word, but just roamed around, didn't interact with any of you.
Like everyone's stuff. Just you were just like, nope, I'm free and clear today. You got roped into helping out with a task or two if you were nearby and someone needed a pair of hands to kind of hold something up or whatever. But yeah, very calm, very peaceful day.
I like the idea that you were naked the entire day, and when you did
The whole
help,
day.
it was like you were just standing there freeballing, holding up a panel.
The whole day.
Wouldn't we be used to it at this point, living with you for a year?
I
Probably.
didn't notice. Well, I always have some sort of something on, like a loincloth of some sort.
So you just woke up today and chose violence? like you were just like, today's the day.
I wouldn't call it violence. I would call it.
I'm 1 foot tall, bro.
He's comfortable. Yeah, you can tell. Brew is very comfortable on this.
I had to duck.
Ship.
Did any of you even say anything about it?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
there you go.
The loincloth really didn't leave anything to the imagination anyway.
There it is. Anybody impressed? No, we don't have to go that far.
No.
Hey,
Percival
you got a
maybe,
nice Chum pops out of a panel.
Percival might have told you to put some pants on if he wasn't so oblivious, because he was just.
I just figured it's happened before, so I'm inured by
I think the only time I actually ran into Percival is when he was like conked out at the base of the ladder.
Just for clarification, we all left him there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Seems like that.
Just make sure.
How would we have relocated him?
Well, for me and you, that's easy. But I'm just asking the beefcakes.
We don't have we don't have like a crane in the cargo bay or anything like that.
There's an elevator, small elevator.
But isn't he in the engine
or a
room?
lift, more like.
That's the fuck out.
We don't have what are those things called? We don't have like a dolly.
Did you
roll for dolly?
Load them up on? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was in the tools. That was in the tools that I bought.
I'm sure.
Departure.
I'm sure there's a dolly.
We dollied him to his room. That's how we got him out of there. Then
who's we?
Mostly me. Mostly Lev.
Yeah.
I think Chum was just there as moral support.
I wouldn't have it in me to just leave him on the floor.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
There was a brief.
That's why I wanted to clarify.
When Brew was holding up the panel, right? So all I could see was like the panel and then 3 legs underneath. So Glorp grew a 3rd leg and tried to walk like that for like a few minutes and then just went back to what they were doing.
Oh god! Shroom pops out of a panel. Nice.
I don't have 3 legs.
No,
leave this in, friend. Leave this in.
We're not doing this.
Theater of the mind.
The next day, you all wake up to the sound of the hum of the engines. And those of you who did not need to sleep, but rather just rested, by doing very light to no activity, we'll notice that it's at one point early in the morning, Chum fires the engines up and they come to life with with a calm purr versus a clunk and a sputter.
And a screaming monkey. Yeah! Get at him, baby! Yeah! Just jumping around the cockpit. Does anybody wake up to this? Or are you guys so desensitized?
I'm saying everyone woke up to this.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, yeah. Ball's in your court.
I knew they would do it. I'm not surprised.
Brew, you were having a very pleasant dream.
Of course I was.
To back up a very pleasant day. And right as it was just about to get real good, you were woken up by the sound of these engines.
What in tarnation is that? What is going on?
Reality again.
He goes... he follows the sound. He attempts to follow the sound.
Well, I mean, maybe it takes a while, maybe a little bit for your ears to kind of come to, but, you stumble out and into the common area, and you start to realize this din is kind of coming from all around you because it's the actual, ship. Less rattling this time, as far as a lot of the panels have actually been secured at this point. But what you do notice is that currently the coffee is in middle of rotation. So it is currently empty and is still in the process of being filled as the drip is about to start. But there is, for the present moment in time, no coffee.
Oh. But it's in process, right? So I can wait.
Yeah, you can wait, and you do, right? You sit there. You're sitting in a seat right by the coffee machine. right?
Yeah.
As the day's
Sorry
getting
about
started. And then, if people start, kind of buzzing, and you can tell that a few other people have also been looking at the status of the coffee machine in the next round. And then,
March is sitting there and eating some kind of brown slop. He's like, sorry, I used the last pot to make my oatmeal.
And then, and as you notice, you notice that again, like people are starting to prepare themselves for maybe travel or, kind of getting away from this potential clearing, moving on to the next thing. And, maybe you were just, you started your morning meditations or whatever, waiting for this coffee pot to fill. And then, man, it's like a few minutes went by and you must have, maybe you lost track of time in that quick little, 15-minute meditation or whatever you're doing. But you see now Percival is pouring the last few drops of coffee from that pot that was full moments ago into his mug.
Yeah.
And putting it back in. I go, sorry. I'll start another one. And then he starts, the next batch.
Quick question. Coffee is still brewed with the beans and normally?
Yeah,
it's
why
not? Right? You would do that?
We probably have some sort of system. It probably has some sort of system in this coffee machine that allows it to pump and make coffee regardless of the gravity environment that it is in.
Right.
However, we also do simulate gravity aboard the ship, even when it's in space, right? So it does work. This more or less works like a normal drip coffee machine.
So it's a normal percolator.
You would get an error upon trying to start a new pot that says refill beans.
Sorry, I guess I gotta go look for that. I'll go find that brew. Don't worry. And you see, Percival rummaging around in the supplies. Like, I knew what. I thought we bought some more coffee beans when we were at the market last time. Could have sworn that, we
Choom would stroll in, chest out, full, as you see him holding his hand and doing this weird shaking motion, and he just starts popping things into his mouth. You hear him crunching. You hear that, guys? I got it working. Isn't that crazy? And you see an empty bag of coffee beans in his hand.
You got what? Wait, you got what working? What are you doing with the coffee beans?
Oh yeah, sorry. At one point while you were all sleeping, I couldn't wait any longer for it to brew. So I just figured, why not just mainline the fucking shake, He just starts eating handfuls of coffee beans. But yeah, no, Percy, you hear her? She's purring, baby. She's purring. We can do atmospheric flight easy.
You can
today.
Brew. You can literally see the flecks of coffee beans in Choom's teeth as he's speaking.
They're he's spitting it out. It's coming out as he speaks. Yeah. I'm imagining
Rings
all of this.
Brown coffee around both nostrils.
I'm also curious. I was going to ask Choom, but I'm sure there's somebody on board the ship. How big is your travel coffee mug?
Who's? Percival's?
Anybody's. Who has the biggest travel coffee mug?
Percival.
Percival, definitely.
Cool. I had described it previously like a big gulp.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Because to him, it's just a normal sized mug.
Wonderful. So I guess his demeanor is, I don't know how to describe this, as if he is in meditation mode, but his eyes continue to bounce back between Choom and Percival. So what's going on in his brain right now is, I want to attack both of them and steal Percival's mug, but because of who Brunner Brew is, he is trying to coax himself down, Percival and Choom are friends, not food, right? That's kind of where he's at right now. All of a sudden, he takes a deep breath, and all the two of you hear is
like the sound we heard before you gored a mime.
It does not come from Brew. Brew
what
is
the fuck?
With his eyes closed, taking a deep breath, and you just hear this kind of phlegmy scream come from his vicinity.
Almost almost like a spectral aura just shakes around Brew briefly as he expels this frustration.
Brew opens his eyes, smiles at Percival, and says, "Well, I guess I was just too late, huh?" And walks away.
No, Brew. Wait, I could just pour you a little bit out of my mug. Just where's your mug? Let me see it. Don't worry.
No,
We can share. It's fine.
It's quite all right. I'm perfectly fine. I can go one day without
We all just witnessed
coffee.
the equivalent of Brew screaming into a pillow, but like it was like right
Brew
in front
didn't
of all
scream.
of us.
Brew did not do the
I
screaming.
understand.
Brew was the pillow that the symbiote screamed into. I'm
I am
pretty
the
sure.
pillow. I am the pillow. I'm what calmed it down.
If you guys are leaving the kitchen, be careful. Someone shit on the floor over there.
Who would have done that when there's literally a washroom like 20 feet from here?
It's the tiniest little pebble poop.
I wonder who among us could have been responsible for something like that.
Definitely not mine.
Yeah, I'll pick it up. You know, it doesn't matter whose it was.
You have the
guys. It doesn't
sanitation
matter.
experience, don't you, Choom? So, you know.
Yeah, I can take care of it. Just picks it up, puts it in his pocket.
With the coffee beans.
Exactly.
Brew walks over. Is there like a refrigerator in this area?
Yes, there's like a chest. There's a chest freezer and like a mini fridge, essentially.
He writes a note
That's
and
been built into the walls of the thing.
He writes a note and sticks it on the fridge, and that just says coffee.
I'm gonna do a quick little DM luck roll. Oh yeah. Percival resumes rummaging around in the cupboards. Oh no! Hey, we got a couple cans of instant coffee. It's not a save, but we at least have a backup here until we could, re-up at the next settlement. Maybe, hopefully our reputation hasn't, made its way over there yet. I'm not sure what kind of communication happens between these places, but, it's just maybe not mention that we got chased out of the last place we were at. Yep. Good plan. We all in agreement? You can see Percy's on one today.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Continues eating coffee beans. Yeah, whatever, Percy. Let's get ready for launch. You guys ready to go?
Yeah. Pre-flight checks are complete. Everything looks great.
All right, good job. Walks into cockpit, gets into cockpit seat. So, where are we going?
The DM will interject and just let you know, from the information you had last time, I did mention that from what you guys had looked up, there apparently were some whisperings or rumors from the people of Hearthglade stating that they believe that there may be some ancient ruins not that far from their settlement. But anyone who's really gone to try to find exactly where they were or get more detailed information really has not come back. So the expeditions that do get sent out to locate these ruins are less and less frequent as the years have gone on. But Hearthglade is the settlement that would be of interest at this point. If you wanted to continue to unravel the mystery of this doll.
See what you did there.
Just the pilot. Point me where to go, we'll go there.
Navigator, are you in
Yeah,
for this?
I'm over by the maps with my empty coffee mug, and yeah, I'm ready to go. Whatever I have to do, blah blah blah. Buttons.
Yeah, I mean, you set course for Hearthglade. The navigation shows up on your screen, Choom. We are good to launch.
All right, everybody, you know the drill. Take your seats, put on your seatbelts, put on your happy faces. We might blow up. All right. I push the upward thrusters to attempt to take off into atmosphere.
And you do. Successfully. No
Yeah,
transmitting.
baby. Oh, yeah, that's great. All right, how long's it gonna take for us to get there?
A couple hours.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, the seatbelt sign will be turned off momentarily. Please enjoy the in-flight entertainment, because it's gonna take a couple hours, guys. All right, here we go. I press the nav point and turn the autopilot on.
Yep, and you're off. A couple hours, you reach the settlement of Hearthglade. You notice that it is, as you start reaching sort of this area of the moon, you can see kind of where the forest begins to part again, because you've just been flying over trees for a while. And you can see this almost like plains area. As you approach Hearthglade, you can see a number of different farm plots, and with small farmhouses kind of built around. I mean, these farmhouses don't look like old barns. They look more like high-tech as far as the materials that they're made out of. But there is still what it looks to be like quote-unquote modern-day farming equipment, modern for the the third millennium, and some just some different agricultural activities that are happening below you. And then you can see there is a small airstrip, as well as a few what look to be like vertical landing pads, and what appears to be a small airport here, built alongside of what looks to be just like a village of Hearthglade. Your computers are telling you the population's only about 150,000, but that's still a sizable population for
small city,
for a small settlement. Seems like to be the demographics are mostly human again, but there are some other species that do call this place home. Again, probably a lot of frontier people, and then families and generations of those people that have been here based on how long this moon has been populated by settlers. But as you're approaching, right, the ATC does ping you and ask SS Astrid ship call sign SS Astrid, please advise your heading. Do you intend to land?
Yeah, I picked the comm up or flip the button or whatever it is. What is it again? Is it a little mouth?
Pretty sure it's a button.
Sure. I hold the button down. Roger. SS Astrid, to ATC. We are headed southeast towards hold on one moment. Where are we? I put my hand over the mic and I say it.
Right, but you don't let go of the button. Right.
Yeah, I put my hand over the mic and I'm like, what is the place that we are going to again?
Hearthglade.
Hearthglade.
Oh, yeah.
And then yes, we are headed to southwest to the Hearthglade. Over. I lift my finger off the button.
Right, this is Hearthglade Air Traffic Control. Please maintain current course, just altitude to 6,500 on approach. Stay clear of them trees, and then get below the breeze line. Looks like we got a bit of a crosswind coming through, so just approach. And he says that send approach vectors to you. Please pull on over to Terminal 4B.
And then I push the button, and I'm like, 4B or not 4B, right? And then I make a visibly pained face after I say that. And then I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And I let go of the button after that.
See you on the ground, Astrid. Over now.
So I'm going to attempt to follow those rules to the T.
I mean, the autopilot does most of the work for you.
Beautiful. Love that.
But you do have to kind of take over a little bit to do the landing. Now, I mean, at this point, he's given you the approach vectors, maybe thinking that you were an actual, atmosphere, like suborbital ship, like not a spaceship. Because he sent you the approach vectors to land with, if you had landing gear to approach and land. So I'm gonna let you make me a piloting check to maybe adjust the vectors yourself a little bit to make sure that you can actually just kind of bring it in and slow it down, and not get in the way of any other potential aircraft that may or may not be landing here. Which I guarantee there's probably not gonna be a whole lot of traffic.
I was born for this. That is a dirty 16.
Yeah, just fine. You manage to follow the instructions as best you can, but what you end up doing is kind of deviating from the path a little bit on approach, and then just kind of doing a bit of a curve off into where that terminal he mentioned was, and then slowly bringing it down vertically from there. And you can see that there's a bunch of people kind of scurrying towards the ship at this point. You can see with different equipment or whatnot, potentially for refueling, repair, whatever. You can see it's actually kind of a bit of more of an operation here than they had it.
Fuck yeah,
Timberfall, which is curious to you because at least from the notes that you had, right, it was mentioned that Timberfall was one of the more, I guess, populated settlements, but who knows? It seems like this place kind of has a little bit of its stuff together a little bit. But yeah, a bunch of people start, you can see they start not crowding towards the ship, but like a lot of personnel seem to be moving towards you guys. But then it becomes a little bit harder to see as the ship actually makes its, landing. And
all right.
Percival, gets up from his chair. He's like, I need to get out and get a good stretch in. Anyway, so let's take your time, but I'll wait for you guys on the tarmac there. And you hear him go, climb down the ladder, and you hear the door open, for the cargo bay. And you just hear, hands where I can see them! And that's where we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Brew had just finished brewing his coffee. That's so unfair.
Lev holds his hands out in front of him.
Hours.
Like both hands, just palms forward. He's like...
Yeah, sure. I get that. We'll cut back into that scene next time. If you like us, you could find us on the internet. We are on such places as really we're on a lot of places, but the only place that you need to go check is the place that we tell you every week to go look at now, and that's our link tree. It's linktr.ee/haplessheroes. It's got links to all of our social medias and other places where we exist on the World Wide Web, including the crown jewel of our internet presence, and that is our Discord server, where all of us cast are hanging out in there, interacting with our audience, and discussing all the different episodes of the show, and sharing pictures of animals and food crimes, and all sorts of discussions happening up in there. Even just our memes and all the different things. We would encourage you to join that community. It's one of my favorite things that we've sort of built up over the many years of having this show, and we think that you would love it, honestly. That's right, I'm talking to you right now. You listening. Yeah, I see you pointing at yourself. I'm talking to you. Join our Discord server. It's going to be a great time. Now, if you really, really, really like us, you could leave a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice, as that helps us grow in the ranks, tells the algorithm to recommend us to other people, and honestly, really, it just puts a smile on our face when we see all the kind words that y'all had to say about us over the many years we've done this show. If your podcast service does not allow you to leave a review, we still want to hear from you anyways. You could say something in that aforementioned Discord server. We have a 5-star channel where you can leave a little review, and we'll acknowledge you here as the 5-star human being that you are right here on the air. Now, say your love runs deeper than that, and you want to maybe support us in a more, we'll call it financial way. Well, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/haplessheroes. For the price of a cup of coffee every month, that is to say like $5 a month, you get access to all of our behind-the-scenes audio and, special things that were essentially things that were either cut from these episodes for like out-of-character conversations or other things that might have gone on, or bloopers or all that fun stuff. We've collected a lot of that over time and are constantly adding more. We also have some free content on there if you for any level of subscription, whatever, even if it's just free. We have some like interviews and other episodes like that out of character content that we've been pushing in that direction and onto a separate RSS feed. So we'd encourage you to take a look and see what it's all about, and support this show, and it's how we're able to give you the ad-free entertainment every week that you so crave. Now, that's all I really have to say. So until next week, I'm going to go ahead and outro my cast. Start in the opposite order in which they were introduced. We have Lewis as Lev Zangief.
Yeah, my name is Lev, and I still hate puppets or whatever.
Sebastian, shoot him.
Shit, I forgot I put that in there.
Nicole, Glorp, Glop, Glop.
Oh, I haven't had enough coffee to make hands yet.
Mike is Brunner, Brew, Blitzport.
Just 1 ounce of caffeine, that's all I'm asking for.
And Dave, this March.
Good night, everybody.
Tune in. And I'm sorry, I'm Francesco, and I've been your host and DM. Tune in next week where hopefully we don't get arrested, question mark. Bye now.
Bye.
Tastes like shit.